That's probably John texting.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for
Jerry.
joining us. We're going to be talking about the Murdaugh Saga.
And if you haven't heard, it is a tangled web of secrets, murders, and just one big mystery. Spooky. It gets stranger by the
Welcome, everyone. We are going to be talking about the Murdaugh Saga. This is going to be a fantastic show.
It really is. Do you know what's going on with the Murdaugh family?
Well, I mean, I'm not part of the family. I can only see
It is a
little bit.
tangled web of murder, secrets, and mystery. It's just every minute it gets stranger.
Yeah, it seems like every day more and more get added to the story.
It's smoking every soap opera on the network television. Nobody's watching any of the soap operas. They're watching damn CNN.
Good. This is too good.
This beats General Hospital for sure.
Oh, my
it
God.
definitely does.
The Young and the Restless.
So where's John at tonight?
Yeah, so I think John is out with Ligma.
I'm actually Pixel John tonight.
Oh, hi, Pixel John. How are you? Yeah, we got Pixel John here in the
That's
studio.
close enough.
Thank you for joining us, Pixel John.
Did you bloat Max all week to prepare for this role?
Yeah. Uncrustables.
Hey,
He loves
so
Uncrustables.
Pixel John wants you to, or the actual John wants Pixel John to dab for regular John. So I don't know if you can.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Can't dab.
Yeah, no, you can't dab as well as John. So
That's really strange, isn't it?
Well, real quick, I want to remind everybody that we are on almost every podcast platform. We've got Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. So you can say, hey, Alexa, play that. The Free Speech Forum.
and what's
Podcast.
going to
Hey.
happen?
And that's not all.
She's probably going to play in there now.
Yeah.
I've got something I'd like
She's probably
to get
gonna
off my
censor it.
chest. I've got something I want to say, and it's important. All right? Has anybody out there ever heard of Palmetto Steel? Well, if you haven't, you're about to, because they're the best damn steel company in these United States, and they happen to be our main anchor sponsor. And what better sponsor to have behind the podcast than Palmetto Steel? They specialize in every kind of rebar you can imagine, bending rebar to exact specifications, and that's one of the hardest things to accomplish in the steel industry. So that lets you know right there how advanced they are. Plus, they can fabricate anything to construction grade with raw or processed steel or aluminum. So that means if you want to build a 65-story skyscraper in downtown Chicago, Palmetto is your company. Now, I'm only going to say this once. Here comes the phone number, people, 843-971-8802, or on the web at palmetto@gmail.com.
And it's on the screen.
Yes, it's on the screen.
on the
as well.
screen.
How about that? I had
Yeah.
that up and didn't even
And
know it.
we also want to thank Pixel Joe's Photography and Video Studio for providing this tremendous facility and equipment that allow us to bring this podcast to you each and every week.
Yes, indeed.
Amen.
Thank you very much. And one last thing before we get into the podcast, everyone, please, if you would give us a like and a subscribe, that would really help us out. So thank you for everyone that does that.
Smash it.
Oh, yeah.
Smack it down.
Smash that button.
Yeah, so we are going to, I guess, we're going to play a funny video.
Ooh.
It's John's.
Can't hear you. This the devious pug?
Yeah, this is the devious pug. And this looks like
Is that Grandpa in a blanket? Let her rip.
what the?
Thank you, Pee Wee TV.
Wow. You know, I used to do that as a kid. I would put a blanket on a fan like that, but luckily nobody had diarrhea coming through it. I mean, that's what kind of
give you,
dog
like, the
farts like
vortex?
that?
I don't know, but it's actually
know.
like
That's impressive.
He's
whoever-
well trained.
yeah, you
For
know.
sure.
So that might have been a joke, but my grandmother actually has a dog that farts out loud, and it does stink. And that is not a joke, I swear. It's gross. But yeah. So I guess that dog was it was wanting to get that out.
I am OMW.
Yeah. Vice City is back.
On my way.
Man, I feel like this is John's Pit Viper song.
Yeah.
Kind of want to go watch Stranger Things now.
Well, fight that urge till the podcast is over, okay?
Don't leave us. We need you now.
Anyway, so we are going to jump into this discussion on the Murdaughs. This is a story that every day it unravels even more. I mean, it started as just one little thing, and then it kept spiraling, and then months go, years, and then we're here today.
I tell you what, I think there's something kind of creepy going on. You know how people say, "Mother, you mother." Well, guess what? The first name of these people, Murdaugh.
Yeah, and
murder.
Yeah, and I was about to say,
murder. It's a friggin' name. It was their destiny, man.
What's funny is we didn't even discuss that, and I was thinking about that as well.
No, you weren't thinking about that. I came up with that. That's all mine, baby. Not even anybody on CNN said
Subliminal
that. I own that.
advertising.
Yeah.
Murdaugh.
Maybe it's
The
because
Murder
just
family.
I'm in your presence. So
That's all right. I'll let you know that.
But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Like, Brooks, give us a little bit of a history lesson.
So this story, it's a powerful family. A story filled with a deadly boating accident. 2 mysterious slayings, drug addiction, stolen money, and a botched shooting and alleged insurance fraud scheme. So it's got everything.
And this spans years.
And really years. I was just going to say the inaugural event was a family out, the Murdaugh family, drinking, drunk on the high seas, hauling ass around a lake, and literally runs over another boat and kills a beautiful young girl.
Yeah. I think we've got inside video of that event, too.
We do, and I just want to make sure everybody understands that, because this goes back, a year and a half, almost 2 years since that first initial accident, and then the rest of this stuff followed.
Yeah, and now there's open investigation into further events as far out as 15 years, I believe.
Yeah, It's pretty crazy. So, I guess we've got a media that we can play.
Yeah, where's this family located? Is it South Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, South Carolina. So I guess
I wonder if the people well, I better not say that. Let's go on.
Play that video.
Let's play that video. Boating crash near Paris Island, South Carolina, kills 19-year-old Mallory Beach.
Y'all know Alec Murdaugh.
Need to read it
That's
scared.
his son.
I can't do that.
That's so good luck.
Is that a policeman?
Yeah, he said good luck.
Charged with 3 felonies, boating under the influence.
Resulting in death.
Yep.
A wrongful death lawsuit is filed by Beach's mother.
3 generations. Yep.
They're so deeply entrenched in the legal
You gonna read these,
community.
The podcast people can't.
Well,
This is Alec Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police to answer immediately. My wife and child just got badly.
So that was a 911 call.
yeah, my
Subject
wife
to
and child
murders.
have been shot badly.
So
Can
they're-
you get goodly shot? I mean, give me a break here.
You got to read these, Jerry, for the
He
podcast.
was scared.
You got to pause it or read them.
But one thing we might want
Alex
to...
Murdaugh calls 911 to report he's been shot.
I'm resigning from my law firm and entering rehab after a long battle that has been exacerbated by these murders.
Alex law firm says he resigned after they discovered he
Misappropriated funds.
I can't read.
Yeah.
I can't read
Now,
that fast.
You know,
You can
we want
pause
to
it.
tell people what's going on here. Would you like me to jump in?
Go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, we were hoping
Bob.
to read these. So
These are
there's
going
a lot
too
of
fast for me
events.
to read.
Mr. Murdaugh
Hey, thanks for watching.
had a
If you like
brilliant
this video-
idea of hiring this guy to shoot him in the head and kill him so his sons could collect a rather large insurance policy.
$10 million.
All
That's
But
a lot of money.
just to show you how slick Murdaugh is, he hired a hitman that was so inept He couldn't even kill him by shooting him in the head. It ended up being a flesh wound.
Shot him in the throat.
So it's just getting deeper and deeper. And then he built their housekeeper that worked for them for like, what, 15, 20 years, falls down the stairwell and kills herself.
Yeah, well, that was originally considered just a
Trip and fall accident.
A trip and fall accident. Now they're going back on that.
And do you know why?
And reopening that case.
Murdaugh was bilking the family out of hundreds of thousands of dollars of the cleaning lady.
Yeah, I actually read that he was telling the sons how they could commit insurance fraud to get money from their mom dying. They wanted him to sue the Murdaughs to get money for the.
Every bad joke, every negative comment, every foul smell you've smelled when walking behind an attorney in the courthouse, it all come to fruition.
It's rightfully so.
It's here. These people. This reads like a Hollywood script to me. It's like you can't make this stuff up. And earlier when the cop said good luck, you know why he said good luck?
Good luck catching.
They were 3 generations of serving at
Good
circuit
luck
solicitors.
Getting any stuff to stick to this kid.
There's no way.
He'll get away with murder is basically what the cop was inferring, because they know who controls the court and legal system in that whole area.
They can do whatever they want.
They've been the prosecutor in that area for 3 generations, so it's a legal dynasty.
I think that went back
hard to compete against that.
Yeah, that goes back to 1920 that they've been doing that. So I mean, pretty much.
I'll tell you what, that's coming around the corner, and it's not going to be long, and I think it's one for Quentin Tarantino. That's a movie deal. A book and a movie.
We're going to get a movie out of this?
I mean, can you imagine? Now, they're going to have to wait a little bit.
Be a good movie.
Because it isn't finished yet.
So, it's playing out every day.
So John said that the money should have just gone to the housekeeper and the housekeeper's kids.
But
that Murdaugh took all the money for himself.
Maybe John's running a fever.
John doesn't know.
I think he's hallucinating.
Yeah.
He's on the up and up. He's been reading about this, so.
Amidst all this darkness that we're talking about, and it's such a tragic thing, a little levity here might help. But do you know what you call it when a boat with 500 attorneys on it sinks?
What's that called?
What do you call that?
You call that a good start.
So, who's the attorney in that case?
500 of them, baby, gone in one fell swoop. But the Murdaugh family wouldn't be on that boat, I'm afraid.
Oh, man. Yeah, so, I mean, this is crazy. It all started from that boating accident, which had a bunch of teenagers, basically, or young adults, whatever you want to call
Alex
it.
Murdaugh and his friends were on this boat.
Yeah, with coolers full of alcohol. There were beer cans, just tons of alcohol in there, and then he goes and so
that's when things started to unravel.
Yeah,
at that point.
That's when they start killing.
Yeah, that's when they start killing. So the boat crashes, and they make a 911 call, and the person on the phone is like, yeah, everyone's here but one person, and that was Mallory Beach, right? And her body, they couldn't find it, and it floated up. They found it a week later.
At least a week,
yeah.
wasn't it? Might have been longer than that.
And so that's where all of this started. And so then... However, and my timeline, I guess, might be wrong, but then we hear that 911 call in that last video, and that is...
that was Alex Murdaugh,
that was
right?
Alex, and...
The dad.
Yeah, so that was him calling that there was two more murders.
Wife and son were killed.
Were badly shot.
Yeah, and this
Badly
just...
shot, yeah.
I mean, there's...
But that was probably some planned event. Alex Murdaugh was in on or some kind of money scheme, the way that he played the system.
Well, the way they sacrifice each other, it seems like Dad asked a guy to kill him, and so maybe the wife and the son there said, "Hey, Mr. Murdaugh, why don't you shoot us in the front yard, and it'll help the family out. We'll take a bullet for the cause."
It seems like all of this is really just money schemes, or whether it's schemes to get money in one way, steal money, like.
So do these people actually die is the question.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out is this all like actually planned and you just don't care to kill your own family for some money, or is this what is all? I mean,
one thing to consider, the big guy, the kingpin, Mr. Murdaugh, and like you mentioned, 87 years of being in control of the judicial process in this county. Now that's big time stuff. But he was not only an alcoholic, he was on opiates. So as far as we know, this dude is drinking and doing heroin for who knows how long. He's taking money from the law firm. Can you imagine the amount of hubris and arrogance that those kids had?
Right.
We are Murdaugh. We own this effing county. You can't touch us. Can you see one of them getting pulled over for speeding? I can see the first thing out of their mouth. Yeah, what do you want, cop?
Yeah.
I'm Johnny Murdaugh. Oh, well, slow down a little bit.
Why waste my time?
Take it easy. But what I'm getting at is this. If the father was that bad into alcohol and opiate, he's nowhere near sane, and he's doing this all the time. You don't get high on opiates and alcohol one day and then stay sober for 3. So how about the wife? Is she an enabler? Is she part of it? What I'm getting at is this was such a dysfunctional family with such a tremendous amount of arrogance and hubris in them that I think as things started to unravel and they could have used a little common sense, there wasn't any to draw upon. They were all just had their head up their rear end. Oh, we can work this out. God, we've owned this damn place for nearly 100 years.
We can brush that under the carpet.
And imagine what a couple of the police chief was probably saying to him, or the sheriff of the county. You can imagine the conversations that went on when he got on the phone or would have meet the guy down at the pier while all this was unfolding. John, what have y'all got? Well, we really don't have anything. We still can't find the girl. Don't worry about it. We're going to fix it for you. It's going to be all right. Just chill out, go back home, have another bottle of vodka, shoot some more heroin, get your wife effed up, and tell your boys to go out and have a good time.
And thanks for the money you just gave me to
pay everybody off.
Yeah, pay everyone off.
They were all just effed up and out of their heads.
Well, and it seemed if they were hiring maids and stuff,
they're
already living the dream.
They got money. Why they need more?
At an entire plantation.
Why is it if I get to the point where I have a maid, I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm good, bro. That's all I need.
There's a point to where you don't need more.
I'm just like, what else do you need?
Now, don't we have some pretty explicit photos?
I think we've got a map.
So we actually have a map of
all these events where it occurred.
Okay.
So all these events are really close by. I mean, clearly they don't they don't typically stray very far from home. I mean, they maintain.
Yeah. So on the bottom of this picture, you can see in February of 2019 where the events really kicked off. This was when Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident.
And so my interpretation of this is, the first thing that happened might have been an accident. It's far away from home, right? And then everything else might just be, tumbling and just might be like falling in. And that's why everything else is so close to home.
The rest of the events are near the Hampton area where they lived, where their plantation is. And there's been 2 other events that have come up since then that have been reinvestigated. And that's the July 2015
How much
Stephen
time
Smith
passed
found dead.
There, Brooks, between the February 2019 death of Mallory, how much time passed before there was a ridiculous event took place? I can't tell from this far.
It was about 2
years,
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
That
was when the mom and mom and son were gunned down on the plantation.
Well, I tell you what, if I was Mallory Beach's father, and I knew that this crooked bunch of people that basically were the law and order in this county up there, I would not have slept. And I think
probably they didn't.
I think a hitman was hired. Word got back to them. They started to panic, and it started with a professional hit. Nobody's heard anything about that. And then the panic set in, and the weird stuff started to happen. And that's when Dad said, "I need a bullet in the head while I'm driving down the road." What do you think?
Did the dad want to die? Like,
He knew he was in deep.
To me, he was
taking money from the firm.
So die and then, give your kids money.
Well, to me, it sounds like they're just so deep in it, and he knows at this point. He knows you can get so deep with all of all of your inside help. You can get deep enough and then get out.
Yes.
But unless you've got hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, I mean, at some point you're gonna drown. And at this point, he knows he's gonna drown. So he may as well, instead of getting life in prison, he may as well just do this. Give a few extra dollars to his son, whatever.
Yeah, there's also a mental health struggle that people have, and he could have been in love with his wife that he lost too.
I mean,
and had no reason to live anymore. So then he wanted to give his money to his son to provide for his son.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
the scheme he came up with.
The other, the other possibility is, and maybe we're not giving all this credit. Maybe there's nothing fishy going on, and this family just has a dark rain cloud over their head. And he became mentally ill from all of this, which, I mean, I can understand. And he just wanted out, and he couldn't do it himself. Who knows? I feel like that's not true, but.
Well, the other thing is that even good people, and we know when we were little, for example, we'd do something we shouldn't have done. And we knew it was bad, and we felt bad about it, but nobody knew but us. And guilt was in there. And that guilt can grow and grow. And then finally you go to Mom, say, "Mom, I
stole the cookies out of the
cracked
cookie
the
jar.
window on the neighbor's car with a brick. I'm sorry. I feel bad about it."
Bob.
Or you know what? No, I didn't actually do that. But all I'm getting at is
that was his
when
confession.
When you're carrying a weight of guilt to this level, that father knew damn well his son was drunk out of his mind. He never should have been driving that damn boat. They murdered that girl. That's just clear and simple. And then they go into gear to get him to protect him. Good luck, says the cop. And imagine this other family. You think they're sitting around twiddling their thumbs? Hell no. I can hear phone calls. I can see a drive up into the front yard. "Come on out, you blankety blank blank. I've got something for you." They would have been fearless at this point. I sure as hell would have been if that would have been my daughter that got ran over by that drunken little bastard.
Yeah. And so
I would have lost it.
Yeah, so we actually have some a video to play for that. So let's go ahead and.
This is the Mallory Beach boat.
It's been more than 2 months since Paul and Maggie Murdaugh were murdered in Colleton County. Still, no answer as to who's responsible for the mother and son's deaths. But tonight, we have newly released photos from the night of the fatal boat crash Paul Murdaugh was involved in back in 2019. A warning, some may find these images disturbing.
Yeah,
so. Emergency. Hello. Police, fire, EMS. Hello.
These newly released photos from the fatal boat crash near Paris Island back on February 24th, 2019 give a glimpse of what the scene was like that night. Here you can see severe damage along the outside of the 17-foot Sea Hunt Triton and what appears to be blood smeared on the inside.
All 5 of us are on the bank, but we're missing one person.
All 5.
The boat slammed into a piling on the Archers Creek Bridge. The impact threw 19-year-old Mallory Beach overboard. Her body wouldn't be found until a week later.
Yeah, so
that's tragic.
What's
event.
the likelihood that
you've got to be hammered to run right into a pier?
Yeah, I mean that boat it didn't just tap.
Yeah,
it didn't just tap whatever it hit. I mean it.
It must have been going really fast.
It was going fast. I mean, the whole thing was just like split in half. I mean, that boat was destroyed.
Well, it was probably staged. Didn't it happen after sundown?
Yeah, that was like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Well, I want to tell you something. I grew up in a lake city. All right. I'm not going to say where. I had a boat. All my friends had boats. And, buddy, we loved the water. And we got out there, and the water patrol was just there in case a boat sunk. There were no cops cruising, and we drank, and we had a great time, and we'd ride along 15 feet apart hauling ass, but the sun was up.
Right.
And you can see.
And when the sun started to go down, It was my rule. I got my ass into the pier because what some of these people would do, they'd lay out there drunk, get stoned. You know what they do? They'd get out in the middle of the channel and they'd cut all their lights out.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
So they could see the stars.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, obviously, when you go out on the street, you don't turn your lights out on your car.
Exactly.
Because you want to be able to see what's in front of you, but not only that, you want to be able to see, or you want other people to see you. So, I mean, it's like...
And even when the lights are on at the lake, you've got lights on the shore, you've got your boat lights, and you can see a boat out there, but depth perception is severely impacted. So that punk could have seen that boat out there going full speed and thought, oh, well, they're way the hell out there, and before he knows it, he flies over them and rams them.
Yeah. And so this is Mallory Beach. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen her, but so this is the 19-year-old.
She's really beautiful.
Yeah, she's nice. What a shame.
This is the 19-year-old who lost her life.
She died way too young, 19.
And so her body came up. They say a week later, maybe it.
It's found in a marshy area.
Who knows?
She had washed up under some trees and in the backwater.
Yeah, but so I guess we have a little bit of footage from what was just happened. Was it September 21st?
Do you think it could have been Mallory Beach's parents? That wanted some kind of revenge that could have killed.
Who knows?
The mom and son.
There's a long list, I bet.
Or somebody that's just upset about the totalitarian rule.
Her boy, other friends that she's got. There's a long list of people that want to do the Murdaughs in.
John sent us something on the forum where the people that they thought the mom had inside information about what was going on illegally, at the law firm, and that people wanted her dead for that reason.
Whoa.
So there's a lot of twists and turns this entire story.
You're right. I haven't thought about that angle.
Yeah.
The people that worked in the firm took them out.
Mm-hmm.
John up there said
it's kind of payback, especially if you have a drug problem.
Smith was apparently
rumored to be sleeping with one of the Murdaugh's brothers and also Alex. I mean, all of it.
That's one of the side stories. Smith is the guy that was killed. He was working on his car and he was shot in the back of the head. It was a earlier event that they kind of cast away.
One thing we know, all attorneys make a buttload of enemies. I mean, they just churn them out like a cookie factory because they're sending people.
Sense.
Hell yeah.
So I guess to kind of catch up to speed, so we have one more media item to play. So this is going to be from the recent suicide for hire from Alex Murdaugh. So
kind of a hitman plot.
In a tan jumpsuit, handcuffed and shackled, Alex Murdaugh faced a judge and criminal charges. Twitching and looking uncomfortable, the prominent South Carolina attorney, now a defendant in the Lowcountry court system, he knows all too well. Murdaugh surrendered to authorities in Hampton County before noon Thursday, booked and charged with insurance fraud, conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and filing a false police report. Charges stemming from what investigators believe was a staged suicide attempt on September 4th, claiming Murdaugh instructed 61-year-old Curtis Smith to kill him.
That guy
a plot
is on
to ensure Murdaugh's son could collect on a $10 million insurance claim after his death.
That's the younger son.
He's not a danger to the community. The only person he's a danger to is himself.
At his bond hearing, prosecutors argued Murdaugh was a flight risk with significant means who should be tracked by GPS.
Sometimes those who had everything and who are suffering a possible fall from grace are actually more of a concern than a hardened criminal.
The judge ruled Murdaugh could return to rehab on a $20,000 bond without GPS. This after Murdaugh's lawyers again detailed their client's life dismantled by opioid abuse and the pain of grieving a wife and son brutally murdered.
He could definitely
that detail causing Murdaugh to shed tears at the table. For Murdaugh, it's the latest in a chain of devastating events, with several investigations and civil litigations pending, including the murder of his wife and son, possibly misappropriating millions from the family law firm, and the 2018 death of the Murdaugh's longtime housekeeper, who allegedly fell at the Murdaugh home. Tonight, Murdaugh is headed back to rehab, but his legal woes are likely far from over. Katie Beck.
Yeah, so
first off, the guy that he hired to shoot him.
Yeah, so
this is what
he hired
I was talking about.
Like previous, if you've got money and stuff, that's not somebody I would hire to.
You hire a person who's capable of
not
functioning.
a professional.
You hire a functional a functional human being, not someone that's high on drugs. What wasn't that guy?
He was like,
and he seemed to be happy to be on.
He was
on
his
camera.
buddy down at the dope den. I mean, you know, they go in the same circles. He was probably the guy that was helping him buy dope.
Shoot me?
Well, I mean, yeah.
And I'm not talking about marijuana.
That was one of his. Yeah, that was one of his old clients, right? So
yeah. Well, you mix opiates and alcohol, and you are definitely in a place of insanity.
You turn to that guy.
I mean, so there was no clear thinking going on whatsoever.
Oh, this is just.
Is it getting time for the quote of the day?
Well, I just want to mention there's been 2 more events that have come after this that are now being reinvestigated. And that's the first was in July 2015 when that Stephen Smith was found dead.
Oh, yeah.
And he was found on a rural road that was 8 miles from the Murdaugh estate. And they called it originally like a head wound that he was struck by a vehicle. So now that's going to be reinvestigated. And then the second was the Gloria Satterfield. She was the housekeeper, and she had a trip and fall accident is what they labeled it. And but there's been some theories out there now about, have you guys heard about what that could be? That it wasn't truly a trip and fall.
Oh, the trip and fall.
Yeah, they shoved her down the stairwell, or either just murdered her, no autopsy, buried her real quick, and called it a trip and fall. They've got the power to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you don't even have to make it look like a trip and fall if you have money. You can.
Yeah, a baseball bat to the back of the head at the top of the stairways, and then push her down to get bruisings consistent with that type of a fall.
Yep.
For a little extra insurance.
Yeah, this Murdaugh saga is crazy. It's not gonna end, and if you guys are still curious about anything else, just Google it. I mean, look, the name of it is in the title of this video. Go ahead and Google it. You're going to find new stories every single day. Keep up with it. This is going to be a movie. I mean, you're not right.
It's a soap opera before our eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you've heard some really salacious stuff that we didn't bring up, would you post it so we can learn from it? I mean,
put it in the comments.
Heck yeah, load it up.
I think it's time.
Let's close on a high note
for a quote.
Yeah, a lie doesn't become truth, wrong doesn't become right, and evil doesn't become good just because it's accepted by a majority. And that's Booker T. Washington, a very erudite man who accomplished so much in his life, but one thing, he certainly knew what the truth was, and he preached it.
Yes,
like we're trying to do here.
Like we're just trying to do the same thing.
And a shout out to our buddy John. John, I know I sent you a couple of texts that I can't read on the air, but I want you to get better, my man. I miss you, and I want you to get back here real soon. So good luck. Stay low.
Again, guys, please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, please do that. So thank you very much for everyone that does that.
See you guys next time.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you, guys. See ya.